Makwanda Show.
p.m. on this Tuesday, the 29th of September 2020. All right. Manal Tamimi is a well-known Palestinian activist from the West Bank village of Nabi Saleh. In 2009, settlers from the nearby Halamish settlement took control of one of the village's main water sources in the village. The inhabitants of Nabi Saleh organized weekly demonstrations led by the women and children. She is joining me on the line right now to share her story with us, and she is today's hit list. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Manal.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be with you today.
Alhamdulillah, shukran for joining us. So, what is life like right now at the moment in the Nabi Saleh village?
Actually, Nabi Saleh is a model of another Palestinian villages that suffer from Israeli occupation. So that's the situation now with everything happening around and the normalization in the Arab world and the full support for Israel from United States. And of course, COVID-19, everything is going to the worst now, and we think that the most difficult period is coming, not the one that we passed.
Mm-hmm. And when did you decide to become an activist and fight for the rights of Palestinians?
Actually, it wasn't a decision. Because as long as you are living under occupation, this has become as a daily issue that you practice without thinking or without taking a decision. So since I was a child and I was in school, I remember that I was participating all the protests, all the activities against occupation. Especially that in my village we lost, which is counted around 550 residents, we lost around 22 persons during the resistance against the occupation, including my father, who was killed while I was 27 days old. So resistance, it wasn't a choice, it was a must. As long as you are under this occupation, you have to keep resisting. And especially that we are targeted because we are Palestinian, not for our nationality, nor not for something that for a crime that we commit. As long as you are Palestinian, took the decision to stay in Palestine, that means you are enemy and you are target for the Israeli brutality, either from the soldiers or from the settlers. Here, resistance became a must, and you have to fight for your life, for your children's life, for a better future, and for everything you want. It's kind of existence is resistance, and we refuse to die in silence. So we have to make a big deal as long as this occupation is existent.
Mm-hmm. And you said in an article, and I quote, "I will never stop resisting occupation. I know we have to pay a price for having chosen to resist, and that it might only be a matter of time until we lose someone. But in any case, there's no life under occupation. We are already losing it." And why is it important for you to continue the fight?
As I said, it's a must because we are targeting for our nationality. So we can't just keep silent toward all the crimes and the genocide is committed against us by the Israeli. They try to make us criminal, and they are also try to convince the world that Palestinians are the criminal and the Israeli they are the victim, which is not true. So from here that we will keep resisting, and as I said that we know that there will be high price and in any minute we could lose our lives, but regardless that just doing nothing against this occupation. I think this is, it's like being or to be dead while you are alive. For me, the worst price I paid, as long as I'm still alive, that my children, they have to suffer. They
Mhm.
have to suffer from this occupation, and they have been used as part of the punishment against me and my husband activism. So
Mhm.
they couldn't break us, because for me, I was ready to take all the sequences of my decision. And I was arrested 3 times. I was shot with live ammunition by sniper. It was actually kind of assassination attempt for me. I got injured many times, but didn't stop me. So they tried to punish me through my children, and that was the worst punishment. Not just me as a mother, but any parents, just to see their children suffering.
Mhm.
It's something that it's kind of torturing them. But as long as we are in Palestine under this occupation, these children, they have to learn how to keep resisting. They have to learn that at one point of their life they're gonna be punished for their nationality, and for their existence in this land, and they have to be strong to deal with this issue when it's happened, or for this punishment when it's happened. So we're not pushing our children or putting them in danger. Actually, this
Mhm.
occupation put them in danger, and we teach them how to live and to survive. It's like when you have a toddler or a 2 years old child and you teach him swimming. You don't want him to die actually by teaching him swimming, but you want to teach him how to survive if he's in the sea or in swimming pool, how to learn how to survive this situation. So it's kind of this. We're not putting our sons and daughters in danger, but we are teaching them how to deal with a daily attack by the Israeli occupation forces, and
Mhm.
how to be strong enough so they won't be traumatized, they won't be, uh, or they won't, uh, like, the Israeli now, what they are doing is pushing our youth to
Mhm.
immigrate outside Palestine by making their lives harder.
Yeah.
We have no jobs, we have no economy to support these youth, we have even education. It's not something that everybody can afford. So actually, they are forcing our youth to immigrate outside Palestine and empty Palestine from youth. And that's what we don't want. So we teach our children that never leave your land. It's your land, not theirs. They have the one who had to leave.
Mhm. Indeed, it is. And now, speaking about children, how is your son Mohammed doing after the surgery?
Alhamdulillah, now he's feeling much better, and he's recovering sooner than we and the doctors expected. And To be honest, I didn't think that it will this surgery it gonna be gonna go well, because the like percentage of success of this surgery, it was very low. So we were very scared that something bad gonna happen. But
Mhm.
Alhamdulillah, everything went fine.
Alhamdulillah. Now, he was arrested last year along with his brother Osama and also recently. How did that make you feel as a mother? I know earlier on you were speaking about teaching your children how to also be part of the resistance and to fight for their land. Now, when you see that your children are being arrested, are taken away by these forces, these armed men who just storm into your homes and try to punish you, how does that make you feel?
As I said before, that the worst nightmare for any parents is to see their children suffering. And actually, Muhammad, he suffered a lot, despite he's still 20 years old. While he was 12 years old, he was shot with a gas grenade. It hits him in the side, which causes a damage in the liver and kidney, and and internal bleeding. So he was for 12 days he was surviving for his life. And in 2015, he was shot with a live bullet in his left leg, and the bullet, it was very close to the main artery, which the doctor decided to keep it in the leg. In 2018, he was arrested with his brother. And they've been taken to Petah Tikva, which is one of the worst interrogation centers in the Israeli prisons. They tortured them for 25 days. Osama, he was evacuated 2 times to the hospital during the interrogation period. And Muhammad, they were torturing him mentally. So he had like temporary he lost his memory temporary. So by the end, he couldn't recognize my mother, during one of the trials. To see my children in this situation, it was like I was dying slowly, because motherhood, it was about protection, and not to be able to protect your children, or even to be able to support them and raise their self-esteem in such situation. It was very difficult. So Muhammad Osama, he served 9 months in prison, and Muhammad, he served 2 years in prison. Just 3 months after he was released from prison, and we were taking him to psychologist because he was so traumatized and he needed help. At that time, he was shot while he was standing in front of the house. He was shot with live ammunition, and he got a bullet in the chest, very close to the heart. Actually, it was a failed assassination attempt. It was clear that it was assassination attempt, because there were nothing happening in the village, and soldiers just enter, shoot him while he was next to the house, and they just left without anything, nothing. This happened in the 30th of January 2020, and since that time he is suffering from this bullet. It was in a place that it was very dangerous to make a surgery for him, and we have been advised by doctor that you have to take him outside Palestine, because here we don't have the doctors or the tools and equipment there to make this very dangerous surgery. So we asked doctors from Italy, Spain, from Turkey, Jordan, Germany, even South Africa, searching for advice, and everybody advised us that it's very dangerous surgery. So you have to find a good doctor and a good hospital to do it. Then since 3 months, it began to affect his life, and he began to not to be able to do his like necessary thing. Like if he want to drink water, he couldn't hold the cup, and it falling down from his hand, and he began to have pain in the chest. He couldn't sleep the whole night. At that particular time, the Israeli came and arrested him again. They came in the midnight. There were around 50 to 60 soldiers surrounding the house, and they just arrested him without any justification. That was one of the worst experience, because we were searching for somebody to do the surgery. His life were already in danger, and the bullet, if it's moved, it could kill him easily. And for 5 days, they refused to tell us where he is or where they took him. We spoke with the human rights organization. We talked with Israeli parliamentarian. We talk with the prison authorities, with the police, with everybody that we know he can help. But all the time they deny that he is with them. The police said that he doesn't have a file. The prison authorities said that we didn't have, or nobody bring it here, so we don't have his name or his any information about him. We searched for Israel inside Israeli hospitals. Nobody said anything. And then after 5 days, we knew that he was in isolation in Ramle prison, which is a hospital and also one of the worst isolation sections in the Israeli prison. Luckily, we spoke with many human rights organizations to focus on his injury. And I think even we took it to the UN, and they sent a message to the Israeli war minister asking for justification. So they had to release him.
All right, Sister Manal, do stay with us. We're going to take a quick break, but we will be right back.
Okay.
This is Salam Media, and you are tuned into the Mariam Makwanda Show.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
After all these years, millions of Syrian refugees and displaced persons are still struggling to get adequate food and nutrition. Since 2014, the Al-Imdad Foundation's Flour for Syria campaign has provided daily bread to these Syrians. For just 5,000 Rand, you can sponsor 1 ton of flour and ensure that 10,000 pita loaves are delivered to desperate Syrian communities. Part donations are also accepted. Visit alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
With over 80 years of experience, IG Hussein and Company are renowned for their quality Islamic wear and goods. IG Hussein and Company stock a variety of Islamic items, musallas, kitabs, Medina dates, perfumes and exclusive gifts. We guarantee you a unique and friendly shopping experience for the entire family. Visit our new branch in Overport at 202 Kenilworth Park, Brickfield Road. Open 7 days a week with ample parking and wheelchair friendly. Like us on Facebook or Instagram at IG Hussein for our latest promotions and updates. IG Hussein and Company, your Islamic lifestyle.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
You are listening to Mariam Makwanda, live on Salam Media.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Mariam Makwanda Show on Salam Media, and it is the hit list. And joining me is Sister Manal Tamimi, who is an activist as well as a feminist mom. Resisting occupation in Palestine and fighting for the rights of the people there. If you've just joined us, you missed out on a bit of the interview earlier on how she was sharing her story about being a mother to her children, having to see her children being arrested, being shot, being detained, as a mother, it's not something that you want to do. You want to see happen to your kids, because when that happens, you sort of feel like a failure. You feel like you haven't done much to protect your kids, even though you did as best as you could. Anyway, she is still joining us on the line to continue with the conversation. Sister Manal, shukran for staying with us. Let's talk a bit about the agreement that Israel signed with Bahrain and some other UAE states. How did that feel, after hearing the agreement and also seeing that the forces were now withdrawn from Israel?
Actually, it wasn't a surprise for us here in Palestine, because we know that since a very long time there were a hidden normalization between Israel and some Arab countries. And now, with the full support of the United States for Israel, and also the pressure that Trump making on the Arab leaders to normalize with Israel. This was just a matter of time for us. We knew that it's coming, but we didn't know when it is. What surprised us that they did it in this very difficult time that the world faced, not just Palestine. We know that it's or the Arab nations are with us, and they don't support their leaders' decision. But by the end, it's a matter of economy, it's a matter of money, it's a matter of interest between leaders and between countries. It's not the will of the people of these countries, especially that we know that Arab nations are oppressed and they don't have the freedom of speech or giving their opinion. Now we feel that we have been betrayed, but we know that since a very long time, Arab countries, they support Palestine by words only, not in a real way. Even when we had financial problems and Israel cut the tax money that Palestinian Authority pays the salaries from this tax money, and the European Union cut their fund for Palestine because of Israeli pressure. So the Arab who supposed to have Arab network, safety network, to support Palestine in such circumstances, they cut their financial support, and they cut this safety net in a way, or not in a way, in a hidden way, to not be able to send to no to Israel or to the United States. We know that we are alone and we have to keep resisting, and that what we are doing. We are not counting on any country, despite the whole world should take their responsibility and stop this genocide against Palestinians, but actually nobody do anything or take a real step. We are alone since a very long time, but this is won't stop us or terrifying us or make us like I don't know how to say it, but yeah, we will keep fighting and resisting until liberation.
All right. The book titled Ahad Tamimi, A Girl Who Fought Back, you co-wrote this book with other authors. Tell us a little bit about it.
This book, it's the idea. It came from a British lawyer and also a British professor who teaching in Sweden university, and they wanted to make a book about Ahad. So when they asked me to write a chapter in this book, I decided to write something about Palestinian women under occupation, because actually it's only example of we can take it example of what's happening for Palestinian children, and so I wrote this chapter about Palestinian women suffering under occupation, the violation against them, and it was a way to open eyes and also to put seeds in the minds for people who read this book to search and to look for what does it mean to live under Israeli occupation and to follow the Israeli violations against Palestinian in general and especially women and children.
All right. Now you no longer protest like you used to, but tell us what else do you do to still be active and also to still be a part of the resistance?
Direct confrontation, it's not the only way to resist the occupation, especially that or the reason why we stopped the protest, that we are a small community. We are only a village of 550 residents. We had more than 500 injury in different ways, tear gas, steel-coated rubber bullets, live ammunition. Also, we had more than 270 person who was in prison, including 70 child under 18 and 17 women. We have around 36 houses partially burned of tear gas canister. So when we are talking about injuries and people who serve time in prison, these people, they have like post-prison sentence that after they are released for some years, if they participate in any activity, they will be sentenced for 2 or 3 years. So they need time for themselves after they are released, and also injuries, they needed time to rehabilitation and recovering after their injury. So it was very difficult to do the protest with around 10 or 20 person from the village, and with more Israeli and international activists. So it wasn't healthy for the protest to have like more international Israeli than Palestinian. So we decided to stop the protest in a way to give time for everybody for themselves, especially that we did it for nearly 9 years, which was a long time. But despite that, we still have night raids, we still have attacks in the village, we still have, they still arrest people, shoot at them. So also we did, like participating activities in other places. We have now protest, or we focus in Jordan Valley because of the annexation plan. Now they try to take part of Jordan Valley, so we participate activities there. We participate, or we do like lectures for children, legal lectures to raise awareness about protest, about their rights under when they are arrested, what they have to do. Also we participate any kind of activity, making speaking tours. Now we try to focus on children more by making activities for them to remove the trauma. We brought psychologists to work with these children. It's time for them to concentrate on children to be able to remove the trauma that they have to live for 9 years. So yeah, we try to participate in any way, but not direct or not an organized protest in the village.
All right, Sister Manal, quickly, what can ordinary people like us, the audience who are watching and listening, what can we do to support Palestine?
I don't know. Maybe this is the question I have to ask you, because by the end you're the one who know what the best to do in your country. But of course, one of the most important non-violent tools is supporting BDS as a way of boycotting Israel, not just products, but also like cultural. Academic, musician, any kind, all kinds of BDS. Also to raise awareness between children about what does it mean to occupy or to live under Israeli occupation, and to raise awareness about violation against Palestinian children, especially that Israeli law is denying all humanitarian laws and all the international treaties and all the everything about children, and it's only Israeli military law that implemented against Palestinian children. So because these children are the like the seeds of the future, and they're gonna be politician, they're gonna be parliamentarian, they're gonna be ambassador, they're gonna be so they are the future, and it's worth that these children they have to know what does it mean to human rights violation, and what does it mean to stand for justice and equality worldwide, especially in Palestine. It's not possible in these circumstances, but I think it's worth to come to Palestine to see the reality, because it's totally different to hear about the separation wall and to see how big it is. About hearing about settlement and to see how these settlements, it's like cancer eating Palestinian lands and Palestinian resources. I know that you are in South Africa, you have a very similar situation, but at least you now have freedom, and you are like liberated your country. So I hope next time when we talk, that we will be liberated and we will live under freedom, justice, and equality.
I mean, shukran so much for your time, Sister Manal. That's all the time that we have. But Jazakallah for sharing your story with us. And I hope that people will see Palestine as well as Israel in a different light. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for all your support and solidarity. And Jazakumullah kulla khair.
Barakallahu fiqh. All right, that was Sister Manal Tamimi, a Palestinian feminist and activist, and you can call her a super mom as well, sharing her story with us on today's hit list. Do stay with us. We will be right back after the break.
Palestine, tomorrow will be free. Palestine, tomorrow will be free.